The reason why we come out in support of SB 26 is because the BDS movement is fundamentally an anti-Semitic movement and one that endangers peace in the Middle East. I want to be clear. It is not anti-Semitic to criticize Israel. Israel is a country of men. It is a fallible country. Mistakes are made every day. And I'll tell you who's in the front of the line of criticizing Israeli policies: the Israelis. But it is anti-Semitic to criticize only Israel. When the only pain and suffering and injustice in the world that people focus on, speak out about, act on, is pain, suffering, and injustice they somehow can blame on the Jewish state and no other, they have a problematic obsession with Israel. People who see no good in the state of Israel and no evil beyond its borders are bigots, pure and simple. The BDS movement is a movement that criticizes only Israel. They scan the globe, but they don't see genocide and massacres in Sudan or Syria or Chechnya. They don't see the persecution of gays and women in Saudi Arabia or Iran. And they don't seem to care very much about the persecution of Christians in Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, or Pakistan. They single out Israel. They single out Israel, the only country in the Middle East where gays can live openly and safely, where women are not only permitted to drive cars, but they pilot fighter jets. They single out Israel, the only country in the Middle East where the Christian population isn't persecuted and shrinking, it is thriving and growing. They single out Israel, the only country in the Middle East, where Arab citizens are free to vote for, serve in, and criticize their government without having to fear for their lives or their freedom. They single out Israel, the only country in the Middle East where Muslim citizens are free to worship Allah as they see fit or not worship Allah at all according to their conscience. Only in Israel are they free and safe to do that without fearing for their lives and for their freedom. Now, the BDS movement will tell you, no, we're not anti-Semites. We just want to pressure Israel to do the right thing so that there can be peace in the Middle East. We need to force Israel through economic means to grant the Palestinians a state. I want to point out for the record, it's critical to know, Israel has offered the Palestinians a state of their own on at least 5 separate occasions: 1937, 1947, 1967, 2000, and 2008. And each and every time the Palestinians said no to those offers, sometimes verbally, sometimes quite violently. The reason why there is no peace in the Middle East today is not because Israel hasn't offered and taken risks for peace. The reason why there's no peace in the Middle East today is because Palestinian leaders have either refused to recognize and negotiate with the state of Israel, or they're afraid of those who themselves refuse to recognize and negotiate with the state of Israel. As Congresswoman Berkeley pointed out, the BDS movement does not support a two-state solution. The BDS movement, by its own admission, wants to end Israel's existence as a Jewish state. That's a quote from their founder, Omar Barghouti. When Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Authority, actually said, controversial statement, that Jews have rights in the land of Israel, Omar Barghouti and the BDS movement called him a betrayer, guilty of treason. You want to ask why there's no peace in the Middle East? It's because of people like Omar Barghouti. It's because of movements like the BDS movement that instead of embracing a two-state solution, instead of embracing negotiations, instead of embracing peace, attack those who do. With SB 26, senators, you have an opportunity to tell the BDS movement that its bigotry and extremism is not welcome here in the state of Nevada. With SB 26, you have an opportunity to tell businesses that if you want to sacrifice your profits on the altar of your hate, then you too are not welcome to do business in this state. Thank you very much.